Hi there. In this movie we're going to work on our navigation bar. This one right here. I could just select these words, come down to my properties panel and make them links. But we're not going to do that. No. We're going to delete these words. And then we're going to go to our insert panel. And not under common, but down here under Spry, there's a whole bunch of little fun little things that you can insert, run with JavaScript and CSS. So we're going to use a Spry menu bar, but I do invite you to try out all these things. There's a lot of cool stuff in here. So if I click on Spry menu bar, I can select from either horizontal or vertical. This one being horizontal, I'll leave it selected and say OK. And there it is. Our Spry menu bar is inserted into that bar. Now I can roll on these things, and you can see that there's some drop-down menus that I will deal with. I don't have any additional pages to use these drop-down menus, so we're going to take them out. But let me turn this off of live. While this is selected, I can come down to my menu bar, or the properties panel down here, and you can see all of these things that make up the menu bar. So they're pretty straightforward to change. My last item here is going to be, let's see, what is it going to be? Let's come back over here and take a look here. It's home, about, gallery, and contact. All right, so let's do that right here. I'm going to type home. Here, I don't need these extra items. These will be other drop-down menus, so I can just hit the minus sign and see how they go away. Here's some tertiary menu items, and we'll get rid of those, get rid of this, and then here we'll name this one gallery. Okay, and this one becomes about. And the home page, we're going to get rid of these extra menus as well. And you can add them the same way I'm taking them out of here. It's just that easy. And this will be home. Okay. So with that all said and done, our names look right. It's on the wrong side. I got to deal with the coloring and stuff. And what I want to do right now is go ahead and save this page. When I save, it's going to ask me to save a whole bunch of stuff. CSS, some GIFs, and some JavaScript that I didn't have to write. I just need to save it, and I'll always say OK to this. Okay, so I'm going to go over and look at my files, and indeed, it's added some Spry assets. All these guys right in here. I'm going to leave them in there. I'm going to look at my CSS now and see that it added this whole new section. Now, don't be frightened when I open this up. It looks a little intimidating, but there's no reason to panic over this. All of these rules govern this menu, this navigation menu, but a lot of them we've eliminated just because we took out the secondary dropouts, drop-down menus and stuff. So to make this thing do what I want it to do, I'm really just going to kind of hunt and peck through here to see what does what. Now remember, well, let's go look at the code. This is how it inserted the thing. It inserted an unordered list, and then each of the buttons themselves are list items. So anything that is a list item, an LI over here, you're dealing with the button specifically. If it's an A tag, for instance, where this says A, then you're dealing also with the button specifically. But if it says UL, you're dealing with the whole bar itself. Okay, so I'm going to go right here to the top one. I want this thing to move over to the right. It's on the wrong side. So if I double click this one and then go to box and float it right, it should go over where I want it to. So that looks good. The other thing that I want to do, well, let's take a look at this thing in the live view again. Make sure it's doing right. So I want it to be transparent. in its original state. And then when I roll over it, I want that color to be orange and not blue. I want the type also to turn black and not white. So I'm going to deal with all those things. I also want it to fill this whole bar. I don't want it to be up here in the top. And I want to push them all kind of together too. They're too far apart. So that's all the stuff I'm going to style. Alright, so first, I moved it over already. And then you just kind of click through the rules to find what's what, okay? If I look for the background color, the thing that colors these things, right now the color is white. So I'm going to kind of click down here and look for any kind of color in this section right here. I don't see any color, not yet, not yet. Oh dear. And here we go. So this, I'm thinking, is that background color. See, when I turn it off, it disappears. So I'm going to change this one to be transparent, or none right there. Okay, so far so good. The color of the type I can't see, and I'm going to pick this and then come out to my orange color and pick it right from here. And now I can see that. So that's good. The other thing I want to do while I'm here, I'm going to double click on the selector here, and we are going to also change the block alignment. I want this text to be in the middle, so I'm going to go to block and text align center, and that should push it to the middle, just like that. The other thing I'm going to do is work on the height in this section. So I'm going to go to box, and I know from my navigation rule, I went and looked at it, that this is 41 pixels from top to bottom. So I want the height to be 41 pixels. But when I apply that, see how it pushes this down here? It's because of the padding. Remember, padding adds from the inside, so it is pushing it farther than that 41 pixels. So if I apply this, that looks good for the height of the box, but my type's all jammed up here at the top. So I want to move the type down from the top, and I know that I want to move it down 14 pixels because I've tried this before. So 14, not EMs, not M's, but pixels. And then I'll apply that, and it pushed it down 14 pixels. So now I need to subtract this 14 from this 41, which is going to leave me 27. Trust me, I've done it before. And we'll apply that. And now you can see how everything lines up just about the way that I want it to. I'm also going to change my font size here. I want it to be a little bit bigger. And I can do that in several ways, but I'm just going to type in 120 and then use % and apply that. And now my type gets a little bit bigger. I may have to adjust some more padding at the top or whatever. But right now that looks pretty good. And I'll say OK to that, and we'll give it a try in live view. And there it goes. Looking good. Looking good, except now I want to change this blue color to the orange color and that white text when I have the rollover to black. Okay? So back out of here. Let's keep rolling down this menu and see if we can find that blue. Oh, there it is. There's a blue color. We might find it in more than one place. But this, for now, I will change to this orange color. I'll put it back on live. And that didn't work. So back to here. Where was I? Down. Down. There's blue again. All right. You become orange, I say. And then there it is. And now the type is white, and I want it to be black. So I'm going to click here and make that type black. And voila, that's what I'm looking for. Okay? So that's good. Now the only other thing I have to deal with then is the width of these things. They're just too wide of buttons. So I poked around in here earlier, and I think I found it in this section right here. Also, I'm dealing with the buttons. Remember, this is individual buttons. But instead of 8 M's down here, we're going to make that 6 and see how it pushes them together for me. And that's it. That's it for navigation. Mess around with these things. You can do a lot with them and make them do pretty much anything you want to if you're patient. And hey, it's easy to put those in there, and Dreamweaver really helps you out a lot with a lot of the scripting and stuff that you don't need to do. All right, we'll see you next time.